Hey, welcome back to a new video. Today I want to walk you through a Forex pair and a potential trade that I have been stalking for quite some time now. And I want to show you how I perform the top-down analysis, how I view the charts, how I map out potential trade ideas, and what I look for when I time my trade entries. So we are in the Australian-Canadian daily chart, and this pair is especially interesting because we have been in this long uptrend here above the daily 20 SMA. You can see also lots of reactions and rejections at the 20 SMA, which shows that the market and that price is obviously respecting and paying attention to the 20 SMA. So this is a very good first indication here. Then secondly, when we look more to the left, we can see that price has been in this downtrend here, where price also traded below the 20 SMA for quite some time. And then once price broke above it, we started this rally. So what I'm expecting is that once price makes its way below the 20 SMA again, then we could expect a very nice long short reversal trade based on the previous price history. And at the same time, we can already see that this is something we need to be aware of. The last time price broke above the 20 SMA here, we saw a squeeze to the downside again, where price dipped back below the 20 SMA, probably took out some shorts and squeezed a lot of traders and then moved up. So if we are entering a short here on the far right, we have to be aware of squeezes as well and not manage our stop loss too close and give it a little bit room for breathing. And also don't be too quick on moving our stop to break even once price goes in our favor. Then again, I think we can scroll out to the weekly chart to see where price is currently now, and this is very nice. So you can see that here I marked this area 102, and you can see this is a very nice supply zone here. Price been stalling here on the left for quite some time, and then we started this huge drop here on the weekly chart, and then the next time price moved back into this area, price picked up again selling momentum and sold off again, and now price is just moving into this area again. And if we go back to the daily, we can see where the other level came from. So here are lots of highs, and you can see prices just moving into those highs. We're seeing lots of wicks here at this area, lots of tries to move higher. And for now, price is staying below this resistance. Keep in mind, this is also parity level 1 and 0. So it's this is a very important price level at this area where lots of people will be watching price and lots of order clusters will be around those levels. So the ideal scenario for me would be first another squeeze higher into this area above this recent high here to get more short momentum to trigger more orders, and then a sell-off. But if this does not happen, if price falls quicker, then we can already see that there are a few trend lines in play. So if we go down to the 4-hour, which is where I will time my entries, then we can get or create some nice trading scenarios. So first of all, let me turn on the 120 MA, and this is basically a representation of the daily 20 SMA, so it's good to have on your charts as well on the lower time frames. And you can already see that how price is always respecting and reacting to the 20 SMA from the daily time frame. Then next on the 4-hour time frame, what I do is I map out trend lines, support and resistance areas, and then I come up with trading ideas. So let us grab the line tool and see what we can come up with. So obviously, where is the 20 SMA from the daily, we can also draw something like a trend line. This then will also be very close to what we see on the daily 20 SMA. Here we already have a support resistance area. So you can see lots of reactions in this area. And whenever you have lots of reactions in one area, then you can probably see or expect that price is again, once price moves back lower into this area, you can see a bounce at least or some type of reaction and not an easy break. But if on the other hand price breaks this level easily then we can probably expect to see lots of momentum to the downside, as it indicates some selling momentum. Below that, I can already see there's one other area here. Here's a big cluster. You can see the trend line, the daily 20 SMA, lots of lows. Then when we move lower here, move to the left, here is something like a demand zone. Short consolidation before this quick move higher. So this is the demand zone. Then a little bit lower here also another support and resistance area. Not that meaningful, but it's important to be aware of it. And again, if we draw all those lines, it can be very easy to get discouraged or scared out of your trades. So if you are not comfortable with having so many lines on your charts, then just focus on what is really important, take out everything else, and then see what price does. Then here I already marked this trend line here, which will be very important once we move lower on below the 20 SMA on the daily chart. And yeah, that's basically all the must-have levels on your charts. So how do we approach this? What I always look for in my trades is a momentum candle. In this case, it means that after we move higher maybe, or even if we just start dropping now, you can see that here was a nice rejection candle just through the Bollinger Bands and also above the highs. But usually after such a candle, you can expect to see lots of selling momentum. This did not happen in this case. So I will stay on the sidelines for now and wait for a large move lower. And only after we see a large red candle, then I will enter a short trade. And as you can see, there are lots of barriers here, the trend line, the daily 20 SMA, this support resistance area, another support area. So what I will do is scale into this trade, and I will scale after. So after every time price breaches a new level, I will add to my position a little bit. So in this case, we will have the first entry probably around after we break this area here. Then the second entry after we break the 20 SMA on the daily. The third entry here. And if we make it all the way down, the fourth entry. So you have to calculate your position size, how much risk you want to have overall, then divide it by 4 and see if you want to get big in first, or if you want to have be more on the safe side, take a smaller first entry and then get big later on. And as I said on the daily, we can probably expect to see a large drop if price can find selling momentum. So don't be worried about missing out if you scale in, and don't have your full position on the initial entry, as it's always better in my eyes to protect your downside, to first have a small position, see that the trade is working, and then add along the way. This will remove a lot of emotional pressure. You will be able to protect your emotional capital, and this will then overall have a very good and positive impact on your trading emotions and your trading in general. So again, this is my no trade zone. I will not enter here, and I'm waiting for a very large drop here. I will mark this area with a price alert. So once price, that's not very nice of trading view. So I will come back to this chart once the price alert function is available again. I will set my price alerts here, and once price moves into this area, then you will see that we have already moved substantially lower from this previous top, and I love those types of confirmations. So I never short when we are still moving higher, and I don't short when we are still in such a market top. I wait until price is actually reversing, and then I follow the momentum train. So I will set my price alert here. Okay, then we set the alert here on the trend line and the 20 SMA from the daily chart. And then we will just take it one by one and see how price is unwinding. And again, I'm not short yet, and if price decides that it's going to move higher, then we will just stay on the sidelines. We are not going to do anything, because we are waiting for clear signs that we are seeing more selling momentum, and we are not going to short on the way up. We are only going to short on the way down. So this is a very interesting market that I really like so far. And just wait patiently for the entry, and once we get an entry or a signal, then I will update you on this pair later on in my YouTube channel.